Thank you so much for stopping by. In case this is your first time, my name is Miriam Ogutu. I am a Kenyan journalist and do have some interest in international relations. The reason why I'm here talking to you is because there's a certain young man who sent me an email and who needed some help with a certain thing, but which I thought would be helpful, especially for the many young people who are starting out in their careers outside of being a journalist and also having interest in international relations. I also do some mentorship for young people who are getting into careers in areas that I understand and in, that I could be of help. I've been a journalist for quite some time, so I want to believe that should count for something. And if through sharing some of my experiences could really have an impact or help somebody out there, then that is, I'm glad to do that. And by the way, that is why I set up this platform. So I'll just read a bit of parts of this email. I will not say the name. A young man attends one of the universities here and he is pursuing a BA degree in international relations, and he said, I'm supposed to go for field attachment from next week, and I would like to ask if you can clarify for me the areas to be covered in journalism, especially in international relations. Okay, I've studied journalism. I've practiced journalism, so that is my first love, and then it is through my love for journalism that I ended up studying international relations. Okay, but for him, he has done international relations, and now it appears he's going for an internship in I want to believe in a media house. So he wanted to know how these international relations degree could be of how he could use it effectively, and what areas he could be a strength for him. So obviously, when you think about international relations, what comes to your mind is diplomacy or foreign policy or things like that. So perhaps what I told him, he could just act as a person who understands, like a diplomatic reporter or a foreign policy reporter or something like that. And I want to believe it's a local media house. Or still, he could act as a foreign correspondent. And this area involves reporting on international events, conflicts and diplomatic developments, and it offers an opportunity to understand how I'm just reading part of the email that I sent him. Global affairs are covered by media outlets and the role of journalism in shaping public perceptions of international issues. I also told him that he could look at investigative journalism. Investigative journalism delves deep into complex issues including corruption, human rights abuses, and environmental crisis, often with an international dimension. Engaging in investigative reporting could help him develop critical research and analytical skills while uncovering important stories with global implications. So he could also venture into that. And also you do have things like cross-cultural communication. We know effective journalism requires an understanding of diverse culture, perspectives, and languages. Immersing himself in cross-cultural communication can enhance his ability to navigate diverse environments and communicate effectively with individuals from different backgrounds. And for anybody studying international relations, actually it's a requirement that you study a foreign language outside of English. And so in my studies, we've been forced to learn Spanish and French. First it was forced, but now I got to love it. I'm enjoying it. And so international relations, you study international relations with a hope that you will work in an environment or whatever that you choose to do will have a sort of an international perspective to it. That's why you study international relations. For me, what really pushed me to studying international relations is because, one, I am a Pan-African journalist. And so in covering the stories that you cover on the continent and to do with the African Union and these other things, I really got curious and I wanted to understand from a scholarly perspective, what is the position of Africa in the international system? Okay, so that was the driving factor for me having interest in international relations. And so it gives you an understanding on how things happen in the world, and that has become a great addition to my journalistic work. International relations is an interdisciplinary course. So I know I've just a few points there that I gave to this young man. But you have to understand, like, there are a lot of other areas that you could look at if you've studied international relations and you want to venture into journalism, for instance. We learn about international law. We learn about international human rights law. We learn about international security. We learn about international economics. We learn about things to do with the environment. It's an interdisciplinary course that allows you to have a wide range of ideas and have a wider scope in understanding some of these things that affect a day-to-day living of anybody anywhere in the world. And so you have a better understanding, unlike journalism, which I have studied as well. You know, when you learn about the law, you learn about especially the Bill of Rights, and then something to do with the freedoms that we enjoy, especially the freedom of expression and media and all that, and how that is protected by the Constitution. You must be objective and factual, otherwise you'll have very expensive cases waiting for you if you slander or if you say something that is incorrect and is inaccurate, and especially if the court finds you that you are at fault in certain things. And so we learn that, and the law that we learn is just how to do with protecting you and guiding you as a journalist when you're carrying out your work. So I learned that too. But international relations, you learn about a wide range of other things outside of, you know, that. You also learn about how these laws are, what happens, and how do we derive some of these laws that we have incorporated even in our own constitution. So it's a lot. You understand the intricacies when it comes to security and how those decisions are made. You learn about international economics, these international financial systems and how that works, and because it affects us. There's certain decisions and certain advice that Kenya, for instance, has been given, and conditions that have been given by the IMF or the World Bank that gets to affect all of us. So that is the beauty of international relations. You get to understand, and it's a coming together of all these things. And so there's a wide range of areas that actually you could pick to focus on if you're a person who has studied international relations and you want to venture into journalism. And if you are a journalist and maybe you've been wondering, you want to go add something else to your journalism degree or your diploma, I would advise you. I think at the University of Nairobi, they had a diploma program also for international relations. I probably, because of the new rules and regulations, I don't know if that will continue, but it is there as we are speaking. So it will do you a lot of good if you can go even do a diploma in international relations or international studies. That will help you a great deal in understanding a lot of issues, especially if you are I wanted to say if you're a political reporter, but no. I think if you're just a journalist, period, because it just adds so much to journalism, and you become equipped and you have a different perspective in understanding some of these things outside of just the knowledge of journalism and the basics, how to be objective and factual and collect this information or build a story. International relations gives you an extra pair of eyes to just look at the world and report and enriches your work from a different perspective that is really, really enriching to your work. And so there are a lot of things to explore, and I think the axis in international relations and journalism, it's quite one of a kind, and I think it's quite enriching. And like maybe if you did political science, you probably will just focus on, of course, there are few units that we international relations shares with political science, but perhaps that will just be maybe to be a political reporter or something. But international relations just allows you this array of areas that you could delve on and you could focus on, and maybe become a specialist in an area that you feel you're most called and you're passionate about. Okay, so that is just part of what I told him, and I thought this could be beneficial to any young person out there that could be looking to join either journalism or go study international relations, and you want to see how these mingle. I know time and time again I've said here, I'm a journalist, but I do also have interest in international relations, but I've never really said, maybe mentioned how these two could intermarry and work seamlessly together to enhance you as a person and your work in whichever area. And as a communicator, as a journalist first, my skills as a journalist have become very handy in my work, in my other interest in international relations. So I'm telling you, this is a match made in heaven. I wish I'd known much earlier, but I would encourage anybody there who maybe you're not sure, you wanted to go further your studies and you didn't know what else to do. If you love information, if you love international politics, if you like understanding and you're curious to know how the world, why states act the way they do, why certain decisions are made the way they're made, then international relations will be a great course for you. And it's not for lazy minds, I might just add that, because it requires a lot of thinking, and you were forced to think and use your mind to really delve into issues and through the theoretical approaches and other approaches. So it allows you to really think, and it's a great thing if you're able to engage in logic and critical thinking. Then this would be something that you would enjoy to do. So I hope that this was helpful to some person out there, some young person starting out, somebody who's thinking of doing something else. There's a video we did a few days ago with my younger sister, Tavi, and I think we're talking about how she studied journalism, but she ended up not wanting to practice journalism per se, but now she's using the skills and the knowledge to engage with community activities. So that is the same thing as myself. I started off as a journalist, and I'm still a journalist, but it is through journalism that I discovered my love for international relations. Okay, so if you've discovered another love outside of what you thought you were called to do, and now it's okay to go out the adventure and try and see if it's something that you love doing and that can really improve you, and that can work towards helping you achieve your dreams. I hope this has been helpful. I've talked too much. Let me put a pin here today, and in case there's anything, I think the young man got my email from my this YouTube channel up there. You'll find my email. I'll be happy to respond to any of your queries, and I'm happy to always help. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, your night, I don't know, whatever time you're watching this, and I hope to see you here next time. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you here next time. Bye bye.